Well, for more on the economy of China's single people, I'm joined by Saruhan Hatipoglu. He's the CEO of BERI Consulting and CGTN's Global Economics Analyst. Welcome back to the show.
Hi, Rachelle.
So, Saruhan, as more people decide that they want to be single, what are the pros and cons for the economy?
Well, overall, with the Chinese economy shifting towards a consumption-based economy, I think there's a lot of pros here. We're looking at a significant percentage of this group, as you mentioned, high-wage earners, and they like to spend, which is very good. Upper middle class, 35 and above, spend 40% more than their generation did when they were at that age. This is a huge number. And also, we are seeing more and more interest in different types of products, luxury products. So overall, again, with the retail industry and service industry being the focus of this, this is going to have an inevitably positive impact on the Chinese economy. But of course, there are some negative parts here. There's an argument that, look, married people, when they have children, they have baby products. They buy products for each other. So those markets are going to be affected by that. But a lot of these negative thoughts are mostly qualitative, not quantitative data. If we actually look at the data, I think this is going to benefit the Chinese economy.
So are there any sectors, you tapped on a bit of this with the baby products for married couples. Are there any sectors then who should be worried about this growing surge they're seeing in singles?
Well, definitely any type of product that focuses on mass marketing is going to be losing from that because these individuals want attention. They're a different breed. We're looking at retail industry. You mentioned that smaller appliances, right? We're looking at travel, for example. Chinese people in 2014, about 8.3%, 8.5% increase in travel, but last year it was 17%. So people want different things, and any industry who will not take notice of that is going to lose.
I'm sure it's good news for Singles Day shopping, at least. I'm sure there'll be no shortage there. Now, what about the property market? We know that there are certain restrictions depending on whether you're married or single. How is this affecting that?
Well, I think this is good news for the Chinese government because the property market, as you know, is almost in a bubble. Some would say in a bubble environment. So when you look at the singles, would they want to buy or would they want to rent? Would they buy more if they were married? And the answer probably is yes, because they would have more of an income, they would have children, and they would be looking at property ownership at that point. That's the supply side. The Chinese government is working on the demand side, making lands ready to be auctioned for development for rental properties only. In some regions, they're offering rental loans for consumers who want, just like mortgages, at a much reasonable rate. So from the supply and demand side, this is working good for the Chinese government. This market is good. The singles market is good for that matter.
Now, what about the companies themselves? What sorts of business opportunities for products and services does this open up for them?
Well, it's a huge market. You mentioned 200 million. Let's put it into perspective. 15% of the Chinese population, 2/3 of the U.S. population. So this is a huge number. Like I said, any company that is going to focus on individuals, tailor products to consumers are going to win. Any company or industry that does their research well is going to win. For example, we mentioned about food delivery. Restaurants, if they do a demographic search in where they are and see the singles population increasing, they should introduce food delivery services because these people don't like to cook, majority of them. So that's an interesting thing. Mobile advertising and mobile payments. Look, Alibaba and Singles Day, 90% of their sales were online, mobile, online. So any industry that will focus on these will be able to take advantage of this phenomenon.
Now, with you have these young Chinese with this disposable income. Is it a challenge then for retailers to try and fit that need for everybody, since you have all these different individuals that you're trying to cater for, as opposed to if it's a block of, like, say, married couples, etc.?
Absolutely, because it's new. It is new, but it's going to grow because by 2020, there will be 24 million more Chinese men than women. And the trend is, this is an emerging trend, and this is not a stigma anymore in the Chinese culture. Plus, let us mention the divorce rates from 2002 until now. It's been steadily increasing, so this pool has been increasing. They have to find ways of advertising better, more specific for these customers, and they don't need to look abroad to find examples. Just look what Alibaba did with Singles Day.
And as we look at some of the big business practices that we've seen other companies, other dating services employ to really get as much as they can out of this singles market, what are some of the tips that they could perhaps pick up from other markets?
Well, I mean, they're looking at the Western markets for sure, because Western markets have been here before, but if there's also cultural differences here. So they're focusing on Japan and South Korea. They went through this as well. And looking at how they have managed it is a good way of doing it. But China also today is different than China 10 years ago. They have the financial means. They're studying markets very well. They know what trends are happening, so they're going to adjust to this. It may take some time, but in the medium to long term, this singles economy, which is going to be an increasing economy, will have a positive impact overall for the consumption and GDP.
There's some savvy singles there. Thank you so much. Saruhan Hatipoglu, CEO of BERI and CGTN's Global Economics Analyst.